welcome back tuning into today's video. It's JMA Friday. We're going to have a look at the month-ahead forecast from the Japanese model 500 millibar heights broken down into weekly periods for the next month, which will be taking us up to the middle of April, believe it or not, up towards the Easter period, very close to the Easter period. Anyway, also have a look at the CFS model for April and May as well. So it's a bit of a long-range look ahead today. Before I get on with that, though, just to talk about the advertising. There's video ads on my pages at gazworthviz.com. If you press play on the video ad, you'll be supporting gazworthviz.com. Thanks very much for doing that. Also got the content ads, so if there's any articles that you're interested in, just click through the links. You'll be able to go off and read the article as soon as you're finished on Gazworthviz, of course. And at the same time, Gazworthviz will get a royalty fee on what you're doing. It's a very interesting article, so I've been having a bit of a browse through over the last few days. And yeah, there are some quite interesting articles. So if you're interested in any of those, click through and you'll be able to go off and read them. You'll support Gazworthviz at the same time. Now, I've got a competition coming up over the weekend. And if you want to know what the prize is going to be, I'll be showing you the prize at the start of the weekend forecast tomorrow. The competition going to be starting on Sunday, so it's from Sunday that you'll be able to enter the competition, but tomorrow you'll be able to see exactly what the prize is. Very pleased with the prize. So yeah, look at weekend forecast tomorrow. It'll be at the very start of the video. You want to know what the prize is going to be on competition. The actual competition itself will be starting from Sunday morning. So a very exciting weekend coming up. Also got the first summer 2014 forecast as well on Sunday. So a big weekend at Gazworthviz. Anyway, let's get on with the JMA month-ahead forecast, and this is the first 500 millibar height anomaly chart for the period from the 20th to the 27th of March. Now, these are updating a little bit earlier than normal. They have been updating, or they normally be updating on a Friday. They're starting updating on a Wednesday. Wednesday is the day that I do the 5-day forecast, of course. So I've held it over until today. We're going to carry on with the updates on Friday. I think JMA Friday works out quite nicely, but why they've changed the day that they actually update the charts to Wednesday, I'm not sure. But anyway, this is going from the 20th to the 27th, so the week that we're currently in. Of course, what you need done, I'm sure you know by now, we've used these Elias average Aussies are just there. We're upside down on these charts. We're in the blue colours there for the coming week, so that's an area of below average height sitting across the country. That's an unsettled looking sort of pattern for the coming week. You would suspect there'd be showers along as well as rain. Now, not really in this deep trough that we've got over here in the United States. That's a very cold trough of low pressure digging down again into Canada and northern parts of the States. We're not under a deep trough of low pressure, so well, it's not going to be a total washout, but certainly an unsettled sort of theme is likely here for the coming week. I think that's pretty good. I think we are going to have a reasonably sort of unsettled week. I'll find out more about that in the weekend forecast, of course. So as we go through to the second weekly period, and this one will be taking us from the 27th of March to the 3rd of April, and there's no real change here actually. We're still in those blue colours. The trough is digging down there across the British Isles and down into western parts of Europe as well. So we're more or less on the coolest side of the jet stream, and we're under a trough of low pressure, so you'd suspect that's pretty cool and quite unsettled, really. Certainly showers or longer spells of rain. Again, perhaps not a complete total washout. It's not as bad an anomaly as this kind of anomaly as we were seeing back in January. The trough isn't as deep or intense as that. Nevertheless, it's not particularly inspiring. It will continue to be unsettled and rather cool, I think, as we go out into the start of April. And then we've got the 3rd and 4th weeks, which will be taking us from the 3rd of April to the 17th of April. And the idea is still the same, really. You've got the blue colours there around western, central, southwestern parts of Europe. So it's still, the theme really is unsettled, I think, with low pressure as an anomalous trough at 500 millibars continuing to sit there across western and central, southwestern parts of Europe. Again, we're probably more or less on the cool side of a jet as well. So that's a pretty poor looking signal for April, I have to say. Not a total washout. There would be some drier spells in with that, I think. But certainly it's an unsettled theme going through April. There's no real sign of the yellow and orange colours, which indicate above average heights, high pressure. There's no real sign of that for the coming month. It's blue all the way, so some sort of trough of low pressure looks like it's going to be churning away for much of the coming month, keeping it rather unsettled. And overall, I think we're more or less on the cool side of the jet stream as well. So as for JMA, let's have a look at the CFS 500 millibar height anomaly for April. This is from the website weatherweb.net. You can find a link to Weatherweb on my links page. And, well, it's sort of the same idea as for JMA, really. This is the latest, the very latest anomaly for April, 500 millibar height anomaly. And it's sort of the same idea, but it's been going for quite a lot over the last few weeks, which is for some sort of cut-off low pressure to be sitting to the south. Got an area of high pressure out there in the northwestern part of the Atlantic. And then we've also got high pressure over Scandinavia and stretching to the north of Scandinavia as well. The jet stream is going something like that. So we're more or less on the cold side. Generally are on the cold side of the jet. Got a trough of low pressure sitting to the south of the country. Again, it's very similar to what we see from the JMA. Maybe not as unsettled as the JMA, but overall we're on the coolest side, I think, with that. And it's not a particularly inspiring anomaly for April. Been a consistent theme from the CFS model for quite a few weeks that we're likely perhaps to see our first cooler than average month of 2014. We've had a long run of warm months through December, January, February, and now into March. It could be that we're coming to an end with that long run of warmer than average months, and April could be our first coolest sort of month. We're going to have to wait and see on that one, but certainly as an anomaly, that is to me suggesting quite a coolish sort of month, and maybe quite unsettled down in the south, not quite so bad up in the north. This is city temperature forecast graph for Birmingham for the coming month. I'll just scroll down a little bit so you can see the dates. There we go. We've got May the 1st just there. That's May 1st, and this is where we're starting off, of course, on the 21st. Now, this is the 12 Celsius area just there, so if I draw a line along the 12 Celsius, there, you can see that for much of the coming month, the graph is suggesting that Birmingham, Central England, is going to stay largely below 12 Celsius. And of course, 12 Celsius in April is probably around the average, maybe even a little bit below. In April in Birmingham, I would suspect you'd tend to get the sort of temperature up to around 13, maybe 14 Celsius by day. So yeah, that does suggest quite a coolish month coming up. You do get a bit of a pickup there around the 21st. That's quite nice because that's around the Easter period. And there's a little bit of a pickup just there as well. But overall, if I were to draw a line, overall you can see we're in for a pretty coolish month there. And of course this is based on that 500 millibar height anomaly. And most coolish temperatures go off in towards the end of April into the start of May as well. This is 0 Celsius just here, so this is sort of frost level, and again we see many of the nights during the coming month getting down towards that 0 Celsius line, particularly earlier on in April. We do run the risk of getting some frosty weather coming up in the next monthly period. So that's a pretty disappointing sort of temperature chart, I think, for Birmingham. Maybe on the pessimistic side, probably won't be quite as bad as that, but overall I think we could well find that April turns out to be a fairly cool month, and it could well be that April is the first below average month in terms of the central England temperature of 2014. Would be the first one, I think, since November, maybe even September, not sure on that one, but quite a coolish month being signalled there from both the JMA, I think, and the CFS. Finally, have a quick sneak peek at May. This is the 500 millibar height anomaly chart, again from the CFS model website, weatherweb.net, for May, and the trough is sinking away to the south, and it's going well to the south, down towards Spain and Portugal. High pressure is building up to the north and the northeast country. That is a drier signal for May. You probably tend to find a lot of easterly winds coming in with that. probably quite a coolish sort of signal again for May, but it is drier, and for the west, perhaps not too bad actually. In the east, probably quite a disappointing month. Easterly winds in May, not particularly inspiring for the east of the coast, because you tend to bring in a lot of low cloud and clag off the North Sea. But for the west, it's perhaps not too bad. But overall, I think again that could be quite a chilly sort of signal for May, although it's a long way off. So we've had a long run of above average temperatures, started in December, has gone through the winter into the start of the spring. It could just be that as we go through to April and maybe even into May, that we're starting to see that long run of warm weather breaking down, or warmer than average weather breaking down, and we're going to go into a slightly cooler, sort of chillier phase through April and May. All very speculative, it's just for fun really, the charts are there, so you might as well use them. Don't take it too seriously. And it's a weekend forecast. Well, and remember, at the start of the weekend forecast, you'll be able to see what the prize on the competition is going to be. So come back for weekend forecast tomorrow. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.